the prayer, the intercession prayer.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned that for the first hour, you're breaking through
Resistance. Yeah.
principalities. Or could you
Resistance. Okay, sure.
talk about it?
So there are anywhere you go, depending on the location. Some cities are different, depending on the demonic altars around you, where you are. There is a layer. There is entities. There are powers. There are systems in place where it makes it hard to pray, hard to preach, hard to do anything, because there's a demonic activity so high. There's a layer. It's like a cloud. So to break through, it takes effort, because you don't want to pray. People that pray know what it means. You go to a place, you try to pray. It's so difficult. You can, it's so effort. Like, what's going on? Like at home, like I pray like easy, 20 minutes and I'm already ascending, In my house, it could be 10 minutes. You go to this place and you're like suffocating. Well, what's going on? Well, it's resistance. You've been resisted by entities that you can't see with your naked eye. They are resisting you. There's power that's pushing on you, and you feel it. You can try to take a deep breath, and it's even hard to take a deep breath to pray in tongues. So you call laboring in prayer.
When we're talking this, a regular person that prays in the evening, or prays with children, or prays in the morning, or they don't feel this.
No,
they just kind of say their prayer and go to work. Is that the difference between regular prayer and intercession prayer, for example?
It is different, in a sense, because even when you talk to God, it's prayer. And you don't get resisted there. You can talk to God internally all the time and you feel great, right? There's no resistance.
So when you start praying on behalf.
Yeah, when you start messing with the atmospheres. Because it affects territories, it affects other people. It's the kingdom of darkness that's around you. But you're like the embassy of God. So you come in, and so you come into that territory, and there's a person. They know who you are. I mean, they'll do a data search on you, see who you are
in the spiritual world. You mean, yeah?
Oh, it happened. Like I would come one time, and they would show up at night to see who I was, and I could see him. I wake up suddenly, and I see an entity standing watching me or sitting on the bed. Yeah, they're monitoring spirits. They're called monitoring spirits. So they come and they check you out, see who you are, see where you rank.
That's fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, they have databases. They will find you out. At first they don't know who you are, but then they'll find you out.
Okay.
They will resist you. Don't think it's gonna be easy. So anyway, so the first hour I tell people it's very hard to pray, but you have to push through. Because people quit there. People like, it's so hard. 20 minutes left. Okay, I'm gonna go drink some coffee. You have to break resistance. Once you break resistance, you will feel a shift in your spirit. Then you start feeling ascension. You start praying easier. It gets easier, and like you're like the airplanes. The first power is just to take off.
It takes
the
so much
runway.
effort.
So much effort. Then it's easier as you go up. So between hour 1 and 3, I call it hours of ascension. So when I pray in tongues and I work, I feel I'm ascending. I start feeling this presence of God accumulating. Like I feel it now. Things are it's getting easier. And then I ascend. But at 5-hour mark, sometimes a little earlier, I ascend. Meaning prayer is effortless. It comes out of me. I just got to open my mouth. And he feels it. I go and pray all the time. I don't even think about it. I do my work. I can, do my things, what I need to do, my chore, my jobs. Only when I have to answer the phone, I would stop and then answer and then go back to prayer. Effortless. Easy. Prayer. Easy to hear God. Everything's easy when you have ascended. So when we did the 7-hour things, we ascended on, so I timed it. So we were breaking through for a few hours, about 2 hours, and then a slow ascension. We ascended about an hour, 4.5, about 4 hours and a half, where we broke through with a third group that came in. Third group came in and it broke, and then it was effortless. That's why it went so long. It would have kept going if the team didn't show up and they wanted to feed people. It could have went on all evening, all night. There was supernatural power already. There was supernatural grace. So we didn't want to stop prayer. It was so funny, and some people like hitting their watch, like, we have to start this. I'm like, we can't. We're flying. We're ascended. We can go. And the worship team came out, and they got hit by power. And you look at them and the power, and the pastor's down. Like he's been because we ascended.
Mm-hmm.
We could have kept going.
Mm-hmm.
If it was me, I would have put everything behind. I said, we're going all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
God will start doing things outside of us. He will touch people, like whoever. The prophecy will break out. That's how usually happens. So there's other ways to do that. I don't know if it might be a different podcast, how to use musical instruments
Mm-hmm.
and singing in the spirit, how to open portals. But that's a different topic. I don't want to, people will just get more confused. Let's get through the altars first. So there's ways to do it. And for that is, if you read how Samuel in Ramah, the fortress of Ramah, he established an altar,
Mm-hmm.
and there were prophets that had stringed instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And they were prophesying. And when Saul came into their midst, the hand of God moved and he fell and started prophesying. That's the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Music, string, wind instruments, prophetic. Anyways, different topic. We experimented it with it. I did a prayer laboratory last night. It opened. The portal opened in about 15 minutes. The portal opened, and I start losing my intercessors. They start falling down and weeping. That's how you lose them. I said, okay, ladies. So musician, I said, okay, the keyboard, start praying from your stomach. Like you pray in tongues, only pray in keys. Just like that. You're praying, not your mind is listening. You're not using your mind at all. It's the realm of the spirit. And then I said, okay, now you sing in tongues. And then when the portal opened, I started losing my singers. They started falling down. So, which is fine. I mean, it was a good experience. So we did the lab for a couple hours. Prophetic started. So then uploading, and then the download is that people start prophesying. It happens almost every time you do that. Prophetic starts, so people start prophesying. Yeah, happened in Philadelphia in the youth prayer retreat. Same way, same. I called out the musician first, then the person in tongues, then the second musician, second person in tongues, and then prophecy broke out after about an hour of doing that. So uploading and then downloading starts.
You know, in 2019, this one guy calls me or texts me and says, I challenge you to pray 3 hours a day. And I was, okay, I mean, how? I don't know. But I'm like, okay, God, tomorrow, I will just go to my office. I will close the doors. I'll turn off the light. I'll turn on the speaker with rain for 3 hours. And from 9 to 12, I'll just be there. You do what you want to do. And right before that, I heard this prayer, this sermon about, how we go from the outer court into the Holy of Holies. And you just, you sacrifice, you just say, okay, God, I put down my life, or, and then, somebody could look it up if you want to, how the tabernacle prayer is a name for it. But here's an interesting thing that happened. Without even knowing it, I was basically like, I went through the steps and I'm like in the Holy of Holies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do I do here? Do I ask God for stuff? Like, and all of a sudden I saw, the altar, the kovcheg, what is it? The ark?
The ark, the presence.
And I saw angels, the two angels. And then all of a sudden I see angels around me in like a 30-foot diameter or radius or diameter. Around me like a half sphere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I started looking around and I see their eyes are alive. Like they're real. They're not some bronze or gold angels. And now I understand, like, and God was speaking to me. Like multiple things happened there. Sorry, I'm taking your time maybe, but this is just so crazy.
Yeah.
I saw that an angel had a message for me.
Yeah.
And this angel that can, smack a mountain, it's going to fall apart. Yeah. He is holding everything back because he's got a message for me. Yeah. He's not doing anything because he's just waiting for me to receive the message.
Yeah. Yeah. Download.
There's there's this power.
You're tracking with me. Come on.
And then it's like I see demons. I see these
entities,
and they're outside of the sphere.
Yep.
And I understood in that moment that the reason why you spend time in prayer is because maybe one of the reasons is because you get this sphere
portal,
where it's protected. There's no demons cannot be close to you. They cannot whisper to you. Yeah. They have to talk from afar, and you very easily know that he's trying to talk from afar because he's now screaming from there or whatever,
Yeah.
So you hear the voice clearer.
Yes.
And differentiate the voices.
Yes.
And another thing is, I remember like the finally the time come or whatever, the angel says the message from God. And as he speaks, it's like the angel speaks, but it's God, and there's such authority. Like all these demons, they just fell, and they just, in pain or in whatever, they just they are absolutely silent.
Yeah.
And the way he speaks, the authority is such unquestionable authority. And the funny part is, I'm the only one that's able to question it. Nothing around questions it.
Yeah.
No angel questions it.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember this little example. When God said to Moses, in the morning you'll see manna,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's going to be on rocks, on stone, on whatever, trees, I don't even know, everywhere. And I remember the rocks in the morning, they're like, in the morning I'm going to produce manna.
Yeah.
I've never done this before, but I have zero doubt that I will. A branch says to God, I've never produced manna, but I will. It's like there is absolutely no doubt. And I'm the only one that could doubt. I'm the only one that has the choice, like, to break this authority of God, to laugh at it or to accept it.
Sure. Exactly.
So when you're saying, like, I don't know, you call it a portal. Somebody else could maybe, get tripped on that word or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You can call it whatever
Open
you
heaven.
want. Open heaven, yeah.
Jacob's ladder. How about that?
There, you call it that, yeah. You can call it anything you want, but the reality is, it's there.
It's
It
there.
is,
And the Lord's
and
on
God
top, yeah.
speaks, and
Angels ascend and descend.
yeah, and they bring messages.
Yes.
They speak and so on. And like when you say, prophecy, you could have visions. You could have a supernatural understanding of the Bible.
Yeah.
You can have an answer to what to
Absolutely.
do now at work or whatever. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna break out in the Holy Spirit. The more we talk about it, the more I want to pray, because it's power, and you can sense you sense the atmosphere shift when you talk about those things. Even now, because there's angelic influences around us, because we talk on the things that are in the heart of God. Jesus is an intercessor. He is a premier intercessor. He teaches prayer. He's the man of prayer. You read the Gospels. Where did he generate power? Where did he convert his anointing into power? He went and he prayed in the wildernesses.
At night and all,
Yeah, that's where he generated. So when you minister, when I'm done ministering and I'm done here, when I go home, I will start going back into that generation of grace. Because the capacity, whatever I generated, will be, used up. And now I have to, that reservoir has to get filled again. And that's what I'll be actively doing through fasting and prayer when I get back.